books that had a big influence on the way I think about this. One is called The Success Equation. I don't remember author's name. Good. I'm an author. I really should take the time to remember authors' names. The book is called The Success Equation. It's all about the role of luck versus process in different realms. And it talks about sports. I'm a big sports fan. So one of the things he does in the book is he analyzes different types of sports and how much luck versus skill plays a role. So I'll give you opposite examples. In basketball, skill plays a huge role. There's actually a very little luck involved in the outcome of a basketball game. And you can look at the sport of basketball and that intuitively makes sense. And then if you look at hockey, there's actually a lot of luck involved because in hockey, it's a much smaller, puck is much smaller than a basketball. You're on ice. There's lots of things the puck can deflect off of. There's a lot more luck. There's a lot more chaos involved in a hockey game than in a basketball game. Okay, so what he talks about in the book is we can first evaluate an activity based on like what percentage does luck have an impact and what percentage does process have an impact. You don't need exact numbers. You can just intuit this. What does that mean for success? So when you have a game like basketball where skill is more important than luck, then you want to focus on building your skills, right? That makes intuitive sense. If you have
well, it's like the whole like John Wooden thing, tie your shoes correctly.
Yeah, okay, so there's a lot of books, like The Score Takes Care of Itself is a book all about this, right? Okay, so in a game like hockey, skill absolutely matters, just like in basketball, process matters, right? We see this in the difference between college basketball and NBA basketball, although the Spurs changed this a little bit, the Warriors changed this a little bit. In pro basketball, you get a lot more of superstar skilled player that can dominate the game, the Kobe Bryants, the Michael Jordans, to some degree, the Steph Currys. Although I'm going to argue the Warriors are more the process side, right? They play a much more team ball, more about process, which is exactly what college basketball, kids have not developed that ridiculous extreme skill yet for the process side. Now, this isn't 100% one way or the other. Hockey is a very system-based game, but skill absolutely matters. It's also a high skill game. Okay, why am I going on this rant? Let's look at business. What impacts business? Skill is clearly a factor, but every successful entrepreneur or business person will also tell you, if they're being honest, luck is also a huge factor. Luck is a major, you can do all the right things in business and be unlucky and your business will not survive. I'll tell you a story. I experienced this personally. I worked at a startup that was the very first company to build a friends social graph before Facebook, before Friendster, the very first company to build the friends social graph. They were super successful in their early days, a rocket ship, fast-growing company. They sold alumni communities to universities. Within a 3-year period, they signed up 150 of the 300-odd universities in the US. They went from 0 to 18 million users, I think, in their first 5 years. It may not sound like a lot today, but in the early 2000s, getting to 18 million users that quickly was huge. Super successful. And then the 2008 recession. And here's what happened in the 2008 recession. This company had 2 revenue lines. One was they sold a recruiting product that allowed employers to recruit out of those university communities and alumni communities. And 2, they sold an alumni platform to universities. That's 2 really bad markets to be in during a crushing economic downturn. That company went from being a rocket ship to seeing their revenue drop by 65% in a 3-month time period. Now, there is some skill that could have been applied to help that company better weather a downturn. But that company was extremely unlucky that at the point where they were hitting the inflection point of their rocket ship, the market conditions changed in a catastrophic way.